dad's got an incredible sense of integrity and loyalty. So to the people who have produced these products and produced this work that we've done. Dad was born and raised on the Indian reservation in Wyoming. He is a Shoshone tribal member. He was raised with 10 brothers and sisters. In those days, the kids had lots of responsibilities. And so he started working on tractors, and there's a picture of him at 6 years old driving a tractor. The long and short is he worked hard. He learned equipment. He learned, long hours, long days, and to be independent. Dad and Mom had me, and Dad was at the University of Wyoming in his first year of engineering school. He came to Loveland, Colorado to work for two of my great uncles who had a company named Loveland Excavating that had started in the 1940s building airways, doing earthwork for airways to make, during the war, they built lots of different airstrips all across. That was a big movement for defense. They helped do that. Then they settled after the war in Loveland, Colorado. So our first company was called Loveland Excavating, and Dad came to work there. Dad quickly rose. It was a small company. We're talking 6 to 10 people. Dad was just a young kid and he became a foreman of the pipe crew just in the first few years. Back in those days, it was clay sewer pipe. And to bind the clay pipe together, you put hot tar. So along the ditch bank, you would carry a hot tar pot that stayed hot, and when the joint of pipe was put together, you would put the hot tar around it to seal it. Whenever you're in a pipe crew, you want to start and finish the day, if you can, at a manhole. Friday afternoon, they had 2 sticks of pipe that they needed to do to get to the manhole, but my uncles were kind of cheap, and so they would never pay overtime to anybody. And Dad knew that we needed to get to that manhole, so he said, I'll just go ahead and I'll seal those, and you guys can all go drink beer, whatever you do. So he started down into the ditch and took the clay pipe, and he went down, and the ladder gave way, and he got burnt. And he spent a good part of a year and a half in reconstructive surgery, and he had burns, quite a bit of burns. He was in the hospital for quite a bit of time. The good thing that came out of that was my uncles had him work in the office, so he learned estimating. He learned paperwork. He learned accounting. He learned some of those things and how to do contracts, and that was a really good benefit to Dad. He also did get some money, which he and my mom kept off to the side. And when his mentor and my uncle Earl died, my dad was able to take that money and buy half the company at that time. Then he bought the other half later on when my uncle, about a few years later, was ready to retire. He bought the rest of it from them. So that is kind of the story of how Dad got Loveland Excavating, which turned into Connell Resources later.
In 1983, a friend of mine worked at Loveland Excavating, and I needed a job because times were tough for welders. So I went down there, and Dave Simpson hired me, and eventually I got to meet Ben, and we've been together for 38 years.
I've worked for Ben since 1987, 34 years, I think. So that's I come to work when I was a kid, and basically I've worked half my life for him.
Career milestones were these things of being able to do projects of a certain size, right? The first $100,000 project, the first 200, 300, and he could probably name those. I can't. So, now we're doing $20 and $30 million projects. So he's very proud of all those. So I think that would be good. I don't think he has any size thing, like, oh, I reached 250 employees, but that probably he probably is very proud of that. And I think he's very proud that he has this core group that are like working hard, charging hard, and accomplishing a lot of things.
Employee-wise, I think he always took well care of his employees. He was always concerned, interested in your families.
Number one, he's the best boss I've ever had. And number two, I think that what I've learned from him is his respect for all of his employees over the years. It's just been phenomenal. He knows everybody, I think, that ever worked for him.
Just taking care of people. He's always been, his takes care of his family. His family comes first. He, long before there was the term work-life balance, it was always allowed here. If you have something to do with your family, you go take care of it. It's family and people first, and always has been. It's something that really tremendously respect about that, and just allows everybody to have that.
Ben was on the CCA Board of Directors for many years and was actually president and then past president during the transition between my predecessor, Jay Lauer, and my coming to CCA. He was a big part of the reason that I came to CCA, that I came to Colorado. He was a great mentor right from the beginning, very welcoming and supportive, and just really gave me a great start here at CCA.
When he was president of CCA, that was back in, I want to say 2006, 2007. My role changed a little bit. I had to take more on. He was there a lot. I think it was a time, going into a pretty tough economic time. It was really the start of it, and he saw part of it through.
Dad's not a big socialite, but I think he did enjoy the time when he was able to go meet, our legislators and tell them his story. And the fact that he was able to coordinate and get consensus and change that vision and change the management of CCA, I think he will look at that as one of his primary accomplishments in all of life. I'm sure of it. And it was because it wasn't in his wheelhouse.
There's very few people I've met throughout my career that can do it all. He built the company from a small pipe crew of 7 people to the company we are today over the course of 50 years. And then he's always taken the time to value people. That's been the number one piece of it. I'd call him a renaissance man of the construction industry, just because he's not, there's no specialty. He's not a chief estimator. He's not a business development. He's all of it. He cares deeply for Northern Colorado. He gives tremendously to that. He's the whole picture of what, a construction leader should be.
He's been a great mentor. He's taught me a lot of things. He's given me a lot of opportunities. Like I say, from truck driver to going back into the shop to weld, from just being a welder to becoming the weld shop foreman, and then all of a sudden I'm the main shop foreman.
I want to thank Ben for all the years he mentored me and put up with me. I just appreciate everything he's done for me. He's kind of, like I say, family.
I want to thank Ben for his mentorship, his leadership, the time and the effort and the confidence that he's instilled in me to take over, and I won't ever forget it.
I want to thank my dad for the opportunity to have worked with him and for all the opportunity that he's given me to be a partner along the way to build this company.
Ben, thank you for everything you've done for this industry over the many decades that you've been the leader that you are. Thank you for being a construction pioneer, and thank you for being you.